Thank you, Professor. Good afternoon, friends. A little bit about myself. I'm Arvind Mehrotra. I'm head of Asia Pacific, president at NIIT Technologies, and look after strategic initiatives. Professor had talked about a couple of interesting things, and I want to carry this debate a little further. So just to start my argument, I think one important paradigm about information management and security is about a simple principle which we all understand, is that the PDCA cycle, which is plan, do, check, and act. I see a lot of initiatives being done by the government bodies and government institutions who have put in place a lot of policies in place, but the policies implementation is only as successful as what I call a paradigm of what you can monitor is what you can manage. So I think my talk would be about talking about how do we need to put an emphasis on how to bring in a little more about monitoring so that we can manage our information management assets and the security environment about our data and information a little more robust way. I think government spendings will increase. There is facts which are available. India public IT spending is growing rapidly. 19% at a CAGR. It'll reach $5.1 billion, a pretty significant investment. We have a lot of policies and frameworks in place. We have the Information Technology Act of 2009, and which is constantly getting updated. The last update came in the April of 2011, which talked about of how digital signatures will needed to be acted upon, how data view can be done with the digital signature, and the digital signature strength was increased, which meant that all the projects which are under implementation will have to revise their obligation. However, the obligation date is very large. It provides you for next 1 year the opportunity to say, yes, we are progressing on it, but we will not comply. So the end date continues to shift. Similarly, we've seen strong policy procedures in place, and a lot of procedures that India is adopting is largely coming from the developed world, but also learning from the inherent challenges that we see internally. The challenge for Indian security environment is largely coming from the reputation loss. And the reputation loss comes from when your public face, which is the websites, get hacked. And we've seen that about 270 Indian official websites have got hacked. Okay. Now, whether they are Pakistani hackers or Chinese hackers or student hackers, one does not know where these hackers are coming from. And we're not even doing traceability of that and then taking forensic evidence to try to attempt to close those issues. The other is that the type of attacks that are coming in from various ways. We are now seeing Twitter as an element which can send malicious content. We are seeing transactional losses increasing, or non-delivery of service has increased. So the form of attacks is undergoing a change, and which will require us to be proactively understanding the dynamics and deal with our policy and the administrative issues accordingly. I put down in front of you about 4 sets of challenges. Challenge 1 is the data sets. We are getting various data sets which we need to manage. They're all getting integrated. Today, the electronic governance or the e-governance models is talking about more and more systems will need to be facing the public, okay, to bring in transparency, transaction cost reduction, and also creating a trust, okay. And also reducing the cost, the governance cost, as Rajiv Gandhi had said in his famous speech, that 75 paisa of the fund gets used in the administrative expense, and only 25 paisa goes into the development activities. And that 75 paisa would have gone up to 90 paisa. One does not know, there is no evidence. No parliamentarian, no public politician has spoken about it, but that is a big cost. The other is this whole macro level analysis. While RBI, Government of India, has adopted Clause 49 for corporates to adopt risk management and governance compliance in an ad hoc way, the same ISMS policy, which is the Integrated Security Management System policy, and relating ownership of the process within government bodies and government officers is still weak. So there is an ISMS policy which gets adopted by corporates. I have not heard or seen yet an ISMS policy being adopted by a state government, by a department, in spite of doing a number of projects. What policies are there is whatever technology that the government deploys in the projects is considered as safe and secure because that is the technology deployment. That brings to the third task. The problem is that all these systems talk to each other, and all what we end up doing is deploying multiple set of technologies and not knowing what the role of each technology is about, which means that we may have multiple intrusion detection systems, and there is no data analysis, there is no analytical engine which is collecting that data and managing that data set. We need to review that. And lastly, the controls and assessment and risk mitigation strategies are not there. There is no process, there is no technology, there is no view of knowing that the technology that we have deployed, is it delivering the promise that it had articulated? Is it helping me to meet the compliance requirement and adherence to the policies that I have stated? And lastly, is it protecting my data assets? And that will require us to change the way we look at it. The world has changed. The world has changed because it is now no longer the old way where you focus on infrastructure. You do not worry about, because the applications were in silos and they were not integrated, and thus you were not addressing the business risk because there was limited business risk. The new paradigm is completely different. Today, you are delivering more and more services through applications, and thus you are transacting your business processes, and thus the management of security has to take a process view. That is one big change. Because this process may be executed across using various set of technology, IVRS, SMS, email, portals, internal LANs, customer handling systems, etc., etc., ATMs, kiosks, you need to have an integrated view. And largely, you have to now drive the whole view of addressing the critical application assemblies that need to be managed. So, it is no longer can we live in the old paradigm or in the old criteria or in the old world where everything was to be based on on-premise. Today, most of the security solutions and updates are being delivered electronically. If you are not ready to deal with it, the technology that you have deployed is old and outdated anyway once you start using it. So you have to move on demand, you have to focus on risk-driven, you have to be proactive, and to get competitive advantage, security or ISMS has to be mandatory. It is not an option. And I think we need to change that paradigm. So some of the solutions that as NIIT Technologies that we see emerging for the need of the hour in the government space, after having experience in Australia, in Singapore, and in other parts of the world where we work with governments, one of the things that is coming very clearly is that there has to be a security operating center, which is dealing with security incident management services, which means it works 24/7, it looks at all the data elements, identifies which are incidents, deal with those incidents by going back and strengthening the policy, so that the policy people know what are the kinds of threats that the organization is seeing now. And this requires a security incident manager role created, an information security manager taking that responsibility and reporting into the CTO, CIO, or in this case, sometimes at a state level, at the NIC takes a responsibility of that. The other is, today security is not about just the CIO taking accountability. It is the people who execute the process must take the accountability because they have that responsibility towards the data. Just to let you know a story, today we have, knowing that various ministries, officers can only receive information through their public email IDs. But in meetings after meetings, and I'm sure a lot of us in this room have done it, have provided information on personal email IDs of officers. Government confidential information presentations, which are government presentations, which you've made in a process of evaluation, have been sent on private email IDs. In a private enterprise, this would have been a no-brainer to sack the guy, because an ISMS policy is in place. But in a government institution, this is an accepted fact, and it is encouraged. It is encouraged at a private level, right? At a public level, the face is different. So when your own system is weak, what are we talking of governance? So what we believe is an important element that you need to put in an assurance risk framework, which Professor talked about, where you will need to ensure that people who are delivering those processes give you a certificate, like a SOX certificate, like a Clause 49 certificate, saying that they have not violated the policies which they have to abide by on an ongoing basis. So we provide to you, we have what is called an Assure Easy platform. This is used at a global level, and we are bringing it to the market for the government and the corporates here as well. Here, clearly, the auditor should be able to audit whether the business process manager has executed that transaction or not, and the CFO. This is our SIMS delivery framework. I have already talked about it, but if you do have need to know about it, we can share that. And this is the Assure Easy platform. It really talks about operational risk and technology risk. The compliance management risk in government is really not a necessary, but operational risk and technology risk is key. We have some case studies where we have been doing the security incident management remotely for a large bank, global bank. We've been running Assure Easy for an incident management for a global IT company who delivers services to government projects, who delivers government projects and to banks and insurance firms. So in today's real world, today IT outsourcing of and creating the right IT partner for running your security and information management processes is very important, and we seek to be a partner in that. Our vision is very simple. You need for compliance you need to envision. For controls, you need technologies to enable those controls. For assessment, you need to empower the system, okay? And for capitalization, you need to excel. And we believe that there are two solutions that we have, which is SIMS, which will help you in improving better compliance and controls, and Assure Easy, which will help you in better assessment and capitalization of your assets. With this, I complete my presentation.
Thank you very much.